Welcome back to the channel, guys, and welcome back to the S5, which has not been on the channel for a long time now. We actually missed being able to get this back onto the channel once it was complete. It's actually been on the road for probably 12-18 months now, and yeah, all the repairs have been done. It had really good history on this in terms of it was only, I think, a 3-owner car before it came into our hands. It'd obviously been really well cared for, really well looked after, and yeah, it's been a fantastic car. So let's get straight to it and show you guys the end result. Just hold on a minute, guys. What I want to do is just refresh us all on the actual work that was done to get this car back on the road. If you do actually want to see the full video, I'll put a link in the description below, and then as soon as I've shown you that, I'll show you the end result, as well as we'll move on to the modifications that we're going to do today, and the reason I've got it back in the unit, which is to really modernise that interior. You guys will all agree Cal's done a fantastic job of getting this car looking absolutely spot on again. Really impressed with how this has turned out, and it was done relatively quickly as well, to be honest. It was all turned around within probably about a month. That's everything from the works that Cal put into this to us getting it to the actual paint shop and getting it professionally sprayed on that one side, and yeah, it looks the part now. Right, so in terms of what we're actually going to be looking to do to this interior today is I've got the new style steering wheel out here. I should show you now. Brand new, and this has come from AliExpress, and that will basically replace this old-fashioned Audi D-shaped, if you like, airbag style steering wheel. Another little item that we've got here is the newer style shift knob as well. So I did actually pick up one of these brand new at the same time that I got the steering wheel, but they came for a left-hand drive. So wanting to obviously make sure it was correct, we've gone for a second-hand one. And what that's going to replace is this one here. So we've got quite a bit of a stash here of upgrades for this car, just all little things to modernise the interior. And we've got the steering wheel that it's talking about, so it's a flat bottom steering wheel, which is basically in all the newer generations to this one. And it takes you from like the squared off airbag style to the new one, which is a hell of a lot nicer. Obviously it's going to feel a lot nicer as well with it being new. We do need to attach all these. So we've got your flappy paddles and all your selection modes, buttons that need to go in. So I did buy it in pieces. I think altogether that came to something like £150, which I think is really good if it works for new. Now the airbag was separate to that, so the airbag itself was around £100 on its own. So it is something to bear in mind that you're probably better off getting the second-hand one if you can, in good condition, with the airbags that's correct for yours. Now we've also got a upgrade to do on the shift knob, a couple of little things as well. So the door opening lights, there'll be the Audi logo now, and then just a LED for the back reg plate lights as well. And something else that I've just noticed coming in here, trying to show you guys what we're doing, is you've got the old-fashioned sort of yellowy lights in here, so it's quite nice to get LEDs in there as well. So I'll look into doing that. Now what I'll do is show you guys one thing that has been done already, and that is the CarPlay on here. So here you've still got all the functionality of your standard system, which is something I think is really good to have. You literally just press and hold the navi, and then you're straight back onto your CarPlay system. Now in terms of how that works, you've essentially got another system that's just above this, which is the CD changer in this one, and that was an absolute nightmare to get out. So if you are going to do this, make sure you've got the keys for the CD changer and the patience as well with that, because that is an absolute nightmare to pull out. That being said, having this in the system, you're obviously looking at using your controls down here because you've not got a touch screen in here, but it is a fantastic simple little thing to put in, and it's around £150 to put it in. We will be looking at doing a retrofit to get a reverse camera on this as well, so I've got that, and if I manage to do it before I get to editing, what I'll do is stick it in at the end of this video as well, and we're hopefully going to be able to put that in the same position where the actual handle is at the minute, and it will look as OEM as possible, and we'll just link it through into the CarPlay system that we've fitted, and it should all work flawlessly, he says. Now let's start with this, get the battery disconnected, get the old steering wheel off, and we'll have a look and see whether we can get this put on. So we're looking at using a T30, you'll have these on both sides. That should then allow you to pop out your airbag. Okay, so looking at these two, we've got very different sort of bags underneath, and I don't know why, but I've got an additional plug here that doesn't seem to go to anything. So just looking at two airbags, and I've seen the second-hand one that I've bought to fit. We have been well and truly scammed on this by the looks of it. So purely the reason I got this was because it has the two, I think one's timed or something like that, explosive actuators or something. And what you'd find is that should be sat in here with a little bit of rope. Now I'll show you that on the original. That basically is something like this. Now you can clearly see that this is not in here. And also when I've come to take off the top as well, you can see that it's been messed around with, because that should not just pop out like that. You'll see here those little bits there, there should be 3 of those, and they should slot into these bits, the cutouts, to stop it from moving. Now obviously with the way that is, I do not want to be using this airbag on my car, so annoyingly that's going to be going in the bin, and we'll be looking at ordering another one. So unfortunately that's going to stop us from fitting this new steering wheel today, but what I'll do is I'll get cracking with the new steering wheel in terms of getting all the buttons put in, getting the flappy paddles put on. I'll show you guys how to do that after I've done one side of it, so I know what I'm doing, and then can show you properly. And then hopefully in the next few minutes for you guys, couple of days for me, we'll be able to source a new airbag, and then we'll be able to get this steering wheel actually fitted to the car. Right, so that's one side done. We've got the flappy paddle on there, and obviously you've got your switches as well. I've got in really nicely. So they do come together quite easy, to be fair. If you just literally are looking to slot this one in, make sure you get your paddles in first. It literally just hooks in there, and then you've got one screw, just a screw in there. You don't get screws with this, so just bear in mind you will need to find some appropriate screws as well. But yeah, literally just fish through the cable with a plug on, and then you're going to put it in there, and you'll slide it in and press down. That will go in place. You'll flip it round, screw it in, and then you want to connect your cable here onto the back end of this. So this will plug simply into here. Now I think I've got a blank on this one, so I'll probably have to take that out, pop that in. You've got this side which also plugs into that side, and then this plugs into your actual airbag wiring loop. So once all that's in, all you're doing is you're getting this bit into that hole there, and basically just pushing in, and it'll clip in, and you're good to go. That's the steering wheel then complete, and we're just ready then for the airbag to go into it. Okay guys, so it's a couple of days later now, and I'm glad to say we've managed to get a replacement airbag for the steering wheel. So this one has got all the correct components required for it to actually function. So we should be good to go with all the interior upgrades, and hopefully this will be a nice quick video to show you guys how we can really improve this interior of the 2010 Audi S5. Right, so first job that we're going to do is a nice easy one. We're going to change the gear selector. So we're going to take off this old one. I'll show you guys how to do that now. I'll then show you how to fit the new one in its position, and we'll be able to see the differences as well. Right, so it should be quite a simple job, this one. all we've got to do is basically pull out this, which should be just as simple as that. Give it a bit of a tug, and then what we want to be doing now, this is a one-time use retainer clip. All I should need for that, in theory, is a flat blade screwdriver. That should be able to release this. There we go, so that is now disconnected. That will allow us basically to lift this gear knob up and out. Now, I'm just going to work it out a little bit more, just to make sure we've got enough on that. And then with that out, what we're going to be doing is pulling the button as far out as possible, and just with a little bit of pressure applied, just lifting it up. Now, it doesn't take much to do that, and do bear in mind as well that you don't want that button to go in, ideally, so you can use the clip or use a bit of cardboard. And what you can do is literally just hook that underneath the button in the gap. There you go, that'll stop the button from going in. So if it's going to be reused, or if I'm going to sell this on, that'll be nice and easy for someone else to actually install it. Okay, so if you've got the gear lever as it comes like this, which is how I've bought it, what you'll need to do is get this lever out here. So a way I've seen of how to do it is basically using a bit of strong adhesive tape. I'm going to put that on there, try and push it down into the crevice so it kind of adheres to the side of that button as well. There we go. Now I should, with a bit of luck, be able to just simply pull that up and see. There we go. So a bit fiddly, but don't worry too much. You will be able to get it released. Now what we need to do is when we go back in the car now and install this, we'll need to make sure obviously this stays out. And then what we've got is underneath here, instead of having the one-time clip, we've just got a turn and lock. So make sure it's in the unlock position, pop it on, and then we'll release that when we know it's down and seated. To get the new one on, we're going to simply do the reverse of what we did to take the old one off. So we'll pop it down, and what we want to do is just make sure it's going all the way down. So you hear it click then. We know it's down now, we can now release the bit of cardboard, and that's now on the selector. Okay, so once that's locked down, what you want to do is obviously remember to twist that to make sure it stays in position, and then you're simply going to push in the gaiter back into where your old one came out. That should clip in place, and give it a bit of a sort out. And that is as simple as that. That's a new gear lever fitted, massively improves the centre console aesthetics, and that paired with the steering wheel, which we're hopefully going to do now as well, will fully lift this interior. So with the easy job done on that gear lever, it's now time to move on to the steering wheel, and hopefully today we'll have a bit more success. Initially we're just going to try the new airbag, and fingers crossed everything will work and we'll have no issues. Right, so just tested the new airbag. I wanted to do this before I swapped over the steering wheels. That's now on, battery's now back on, and we've got no airbag light. So that now means that we're good to go with this airbag. We can continue and do the full install now. Now we know the airbag's working, we're going to take the steering wheel off. This is as simple as just getting the spline nut released off here, so make sure you have got a spline socket that's the right size before you go to do this. You don't want to be butchering it, and should be pretty simple. Turn that, that'll release, and off we go. Now we won't go all the way off, because what I'll need to do is just pull it towards me, so I'll keep it on a little bit, just so that we've got, it's not going to whack me in the face basically, and then we'll swap over the steering wheels, tighten this back up, plug everything in, we should be good to go. Okay, so just to show you, before I take this original steering wheel off, we do actually have a marking here, so you can see there, top dead centre, and you've got that on basically your steering column that you're going to connect to, and then your steering wheel. So as long as we line the new one up as that one is, we should be all good and won't have any issues of it being off centre.
Joking.
Well and truly. Don't think about that. Ah, just needed releasing a bit. Thank God for that. Right. There we go. No airbag sign. Awesome. Happy days. So in terms of the buttons, everything's actually functioning, so we can go up and down on the volume. You've got your mode selections here, and your selections on this side are working. So the only button that's not going to work is your navi. Everything else will be functional. But really good modification, that makes a massive difference to that interior, really sort of modernises it, gives it a bit more of a sporty feel. The only one thing I'm probably going to try and do is take off this emblem here, the S emblem. We've got obviously the S5 one on the original, so we'll be looking at changing those over. But yeah, just to show you the steering wheels together, massive difference from the old to the new. That's a real good modification. So if you are looking to do the steering wheel upgrade, I can confirm it does actually work. What I'll do is I'll drop here now a picture of the actual serial model number of the airbag that we've used for this. It was for the newer Audi A5, so it was not from another range. I know you can get these off like Q5s and all sorts of bits and bobs. Been told the TT ones don't work, so I would stay clear of them because I can't confirm whether that will work or not. But yeah, in terms of functionality, everything's worked fine on this. No airbag lights, anything like that, so it's all good to go. And what we'll look at now doing is some of the lighting upgrades that we've got to really finish off that interior. At the minute when we're looking in there, we've got that dull sort of yellowy old-fashioned feel. Okay, so final modifications we're going to do on the S5, and we're going to get onto this lighting. So we have here the two Audi logo greeting lights that are going to go under the door, and then I've also got two rear LED license plate lights. Those can go on the back today, and then in this little box, all of this stuff off AliExpress. You've got all the LEDs to go for a crisp white instead of that warm white that we've got currently. So we'll get to it. We'll start on the doors. So we'll start fitting these first. That way I can get parked up properly, and then we can do the rest of the interior. So when it comes to removing the originals, you do actually get a little trim removal tool with this kit. So just pop them out at the bottom of the doors, unplug them, and then you're ready to go and plug in the new ones. Now this is the original, this is the new one that we're putting in. You get this prong that's going to allow you to actually fit that into the original system correctly. With the courtesy lights done, we're going to move now to the back of the car, and we'll switch out the license plate lights. All you need to do this is one of the little trim removal tools. Pop the lights out, unplug them, switch them over to the new ones, and then push them back into position.
Moving inside the car now, and what we're going to look at doing is all the interior lights, starting on the glove box. These ones have like a little plastic protector over the top of the light, so you just need to unclip that, and then that'll enable you to pull out the original bulb, swap it for the LED one. Now for the interior courtesy light, you will need a Torx bit for the hidden torque bolt that's behind the sunglasses holder. Remove that, and then you'll simply be able to prise and pull down the whole unit. You then have access to all the bulbs. What I actually found is a opaque screen over the ones at the back, and it's easier to actually pop that out and then access the bulbs from the outside. Next we're looking at sun visor mirror lights, and again these are similar to the one in the glove box, just doing the same as what you did with that one. Going into the back now, and with this quite similar to the front courtesy light unit that we pulled out before, you're going to pull it out with a trim tool and the plastic trim on the outside as well. Pop that off, that's a lot easier then to access the bulbs. Swap them over, and then just make sure you're testing that before you're popping it back in, because with the LEDs, if they're not exactly in the right position, they might not quite work, so make sure they are seated correctly. We have also got the boot one, so it's just one in mine. I did get 2 LED bulbs with the kit, but only seem to have one courtesy light in the boot on mine, and it really brightens up that boot space. So I'll show you guys now the finished result with all the LEDs now fully fitted, and that is job done. Really happy with how the interior's come out on this, and I think it's made a massive transformation to the car, really modernising it inside with the addition of the CarPlay system as well. Hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. I'd love it if you could hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and I'll see you on the next one when we'll be back working on the Porsche, doing the final upgrades to that.